everyone, and welcome to another edition of the High Point Hello. I'm Kevin McMahon. Our Pro Series continues, and we have quite the guest here. Andre Scrubb, former High Point Panther, current Houston Astro. Andre, I know you guys had a late game last night. It's been a wild week for you. I really appreciate you taking the time for us.
No worries, no worries. School is always good to me, so it's always good to check in every once in a while.
Well, we appreciate that, and we obviously want to get to what happened on Tuesday night, your debut, but we want to start with High Point first, so a few questions there. Going all the way back to the beginning, what made you want to come to High Point University to play baseball?
Just the amount of interest they had in me. A lot of the bigger schools were, kind of like nonchalant. Maybe I'd play my sophomore year, maybe I wouldn't. Cozart just showed me, he liked me, not just as a ball player, but as a person. So, that he was ready for me to, be on the team and make a difference.
And so when you get that kind of, attention and that kind of interest, does that make you want to come and work harder when you get here?
Absolutely. It makes you, know that you're in the mix for, playing time, and you're not really thinking about redshirting, and, you just put in that much more to get ready for the season.
I know everyone always asks, if you have a favorite memory. I know it's hard to pick one, so maybe one doesn't come to mind, but what are some things that you've been out of school for a little while? What are some things when you think back about, the good days? What are some things you think about?
So it actually wasn't a good day, but it's probably one of my favorite memories. Is I was a really cocky kid, and I went up to Cozart my freshman year, and I said, I'm going to get 8 wins this year. And he said, all right, do it. And I gave up 2 absolute nukes and got humbled on my first outing, and we laughed about it. But that was probably my favorite memory. Conference playoffs. I mean, you can't beat that kind of stuff with the guys, and the coach like Craig that's making everything enjoyable.
So you promised 8 wins on the day of your first start, and
yeah,
then 2 home runs later, you're like, well, maybe all right, maybe 7.
yeah, maybe 2, maybe 3. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into some of the pro stuff. So you were drafted by the Dodgers. Kind of walk us through that whole journey. I know it was a long road to make it to the Houston Astros, but what happened? And then I know you left school early to make that choice. So kind of what all went into that thought process?
I thought it was time. Body's good, arm was good. Me and coach had a talk, and we both thought it was time. I was ready. Obviously, it'd have been nice to go for that Big South championship, but really just was ready, ready to see the next part of my career. It was an interesting day. A lot of waiting around, obviously, in the 8th round. It wasn't, it's early, but in that second day, that's towards the end of the day. So it was a long day. I mean, it was definitely a blessed time.
Looking back, hindsight being 2020, do you feel like you made the right choice?
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and talk about Tuesday night. I think there's plenty to talk about there. With the way the season is and the way the rosters are, walk us through, how you go from where you were at the beginning of March or wherever to Tuesday night, you're pitching for the Astros.
So I got invited to the 60-man player pool, and I was actually in Corpus Christi, and they canceled one of my live BPs and said they might need me in Houston tomorrow, but I'm hanging out in Corpus. And the next day they told me to get to Houston, but I'm just in case they were going to activate me. And I had just gotten ready to hop in the shower and get, and I got a phone call, and a phone call that every kid that plays this game dreams of, and head to the field. I didn't have much time because it was a late call, but it was the call, and just seeing the guys being. It was a great moment. I honestly never forget that.
How close was it? What time was the game? What time was the call? If you don't
So
mind.
it stretches at 4:45 for an 8:00 game, and I think I got the call around 3:45, 4 o'clock. So they were cutting it a little. And I like to be a little early for everything, especially being a new guy. So
I was gonna ask. I know most athletes are in general, but are you a big routine guy? So was it a little bit like, oh, I'm a little out of my routine now, or not really?
Um, Honestly, I've developed more into a routine guy, but if there's one thing that this game's taught me is yeah, you can have your routine, but be comfortable being uncomfortable. So yeah.
And not only are you called up on Tuesday night to play pro baseball, a national TV game, but against the Dodgers, two teams with a lot of recent history, a little bit of a rivalry. You're like, okay, we're not just playing a random team. We're playing the Los Angeles Dodgers and a team that drafted you. What's kind of running through your head there? And I know you're going to worry about, I just got to go out and pitch too.
I was just ready to help my team win. I really wasn't thinking about anything in that sense, like the history. And I mean, before obviously, I thought, wow, this is surreal. I'm getting called up to play my old team, but I'd faced some of those guys before, whether it be them rehabbing or something. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help my team win and get as deep into the game as we can go.
So as you said, getting that call is something that everybody dreams about, every pro player dreams about. Making your debut in an empty stadium, was that a little bit different? Or I'm sure it's just as special, but there has to be a little bit of a different feeling.
Definitely, not as noisy, but and you can hear stuff coming out of the dugouts pretty clear, and obviously the testy one. But I mean, it was all the same to me. I love this game. Craig will tell you that. So I mean, just it didn't hit me, until after I was done. But it was like almost like an out of body experience. So I couldn't tell you if it would have been different or not.
But so you make your debut on Tuesday night. How crazy did your phone get? How crazy did that get?
I mean, I got more support than any man deserved. It was awesome. Hundreds of texts, hundreds of DM. I mean, it was more overwhelming support. And I'm thankful for every last one of them. I tried to reply as much of them as I could. It was a late game, so I had to quick turnaround tomorrow. So it was awesome. A lot of support.
And just to talk about Tuesday specifically, you got out there, bases were loaded. It was, a very tough situation, and you were able to, get out of it. You turn the double play, then you have a 1-2-3 inning. Walk us through how you were able to get through that inning.
No one comes in, trying to walk a batter, and that, against, I guess I can say against my old team now, hindsight, it kind of sucked, but obviously sucked. But, just buckling down, going back to what, me, Strom, Drew French, these guys have worked on, with my mechanics and trusting them and stop, get the jitters out of the way, don't overdo it. It was a great feeling to, save some runs and get out of the inning with minimal pitches.
Last question here, and once again, I appreciate you joining us and you've been giving great answers.
I'm glad to be here.
There's no way to, simulate your pro experience, and I think, you're just getting started. But did your experience here at High Point kind of help you prepare you for that moment, do you feel?
I mean, absolutely. Craig knew I came from some tough times, and just being able to push through things. I mean, just the mentality, at High Point was just be determined. Don't wither, just keep going. It's almost like that old school bulldog attitude. Craig's very old school, and that's definitely helped me. All that, every last second of it.
Well, you single-handedly turned everybody here at High Point Houston Astros fans. So we're jumping on the bandwagon. We're very excited.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining us. And you made your debut on Tuesday, but we know there's plenty more to come from Andre Scrubb. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.